Allow us to come here to the world, to have our meeting here in the community, and we just were able to tour your elementary school, and it is gorgeous. And I know y'all are very proud of it, and most of all, proud of your students and your teachers, the hard work that they've been doing this year. So, we want to begin with, Ms. Knowles, going to come forward and, some opening. Good morning, Tish Knowles, Superintendent, Earl School District. I'd like to welcome you to Earl School District. It is an honor to host this morning. And right now, I would like to turn this over to Ariel Felton and Elias Jarrett, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And these students are third graders in Mr. Sun and Ms. Bowen's classroom. And please remain standing as Earl High School alumni Dwayne Price sings the national anthem. And Dwayne is a graduate of Earl High School 2019. So, ladies, would you come?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing on the side. You may be seated.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early rising, what so proudly we held at the twilight gleaming, whose broad bright and bright star through the pale for us by. For the rest of our we watch, so gather streaming. And the rock is red glare, the bumper in air, gave through the night, that our flag was the beautiful there. Shade of that dark spangled banner, for the land of the free. And the home of praise.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for students for coming and having a different meetings. All right, we've already had our moment of time, so we're going to move into our action agenda. The first item on action agenda is consideration of the recommendation to remove the Earl School District from the script.
Good morning. Wow, we seem to be on the road. Maybe just carry him around with us for the day. Here, I'm amazing. Good job, guys. This celebration day whenever we see a school district who has made progress. And we're moving back towards, moving away from state control back to local control. So this is a day for celebration. Last month I did a detailed presentation for you on Earl School District. And so today I'm just kind of get some of the highlights of what we talked about last month, okay? One of the things that I want to get with you is the timeline. So in 2017 is when Earl was classified in fiscal distress. The assumption of authority happened then on November 6, 2017, due to fiscal distress. So that's what we're here talking about today, is that specific fiscal distress plan and the progress made toward those objectives. Later in 2019, May of 2019, the district was classified in need of level 5 support for other systems, needing assistance. And so today, I'm going to kind of ask for two different motions. One, we're going to talk about the fiscal distress plan, and then we're going to talk about the continuation of support and establishing that limited authority board under level 5. So again, with the fiscal distress, you guys toured the elementary school. To remind you, that was one of the indicators of why they were placed in fiscal distress, was their previous elementary school facilities had not been maintained. In some instances, it was considered to be dangerous for students to go using the restrooms because you had doors that were completely leaned over. And so you saw a beautiful campus today. Part of that has been part of the progress that this community has made. They passed the millage, they supported the bill. And so part of that is that reason for meeting some of their objectives. Corrections to their budgets. Again, I told you last month that the state actually had to loan the district $650,000 for funds that had been misspent or misused incorrectly. And so the district currently is in the process of paying that back, and they have made significant progress in paying the state back. You know, they still operate on a very limited cash flow. So while things are better in their fiscal, it's still very, very tight. The federal money they received for COVID relief has actually assisted this district in making further progress. For example, we were under a very costly bus lease that we were able to use our COVID funds to remove us from that bus lease for our own buses. So there's been some things that we were strategically able to do to better position the district financially. But it is still very, very tight. And at times that tightness causes frustration because I think there are times people don't necessarily understand why we can't support certain things because of funding, and where that funding is coming from. You can use your federal funds a lot different than you can use your local funds. There's more flexibility with your local funds versus your federal. And at times their bucket for federal funds is bigger than the other. And those are restricted funds that you can't have. You can't just do anything with it. Dr. Saunders, you want to come and just quickly make your recommendation about the fiscal distress?
All right, good morning, board. As we discussed last month, progress that they have made. I know I have worked with them closely over the course of last year. The state has worked with them over the course of the last 5 years, and they made substantial progress on that. With the progress that they've made, I'm fulfilling the fiscal distress improvement plan. I would like to make a recommendation for this fiscal distress.
So I would ask for an action from the board to release them from the distress.
Really need session for the board. So we are ready for the motion. Have a motion. We have a motion to use utility, and we have second, Mr. Peterson. we have, Dr. Moore, you that, the meeting this morning, so we can have a forum for the trailer. We have a minute to vote this morning. All in favor? Or in, motion passes. Sometimes go ahead and do Bill for the district, and I just want to say, congratulations to each one of you, because it didn't happen just happening. It took a lot of hard work on behalf of your staff and the community and students, realizing that there are things that you didn't do, and having to, I'm sure, hear the word no, sometimes you don't hear the word no, so it paid off, so congratulations.
So the state will still provide assistance, direct assistance in the next 3 years in the local area, work closely with the district superintendent, central office, and administrators, while they're continuing to move more towards that local control. So those are big things. The district is still classified in need of level 5 support, for other reasons, academics and student progress is one of those. And so I kind of want to talk to you about what I talked to you about last month. The need for that level 5 support, but also the ability for the district to start setting up their own limited authority board, in which they start assuming more of the authority for their district, which is what we want. This has been very successful where we've done this in Pine Bluff. We also have a model similar to this on West Helena, where their board meets every single month. Their board takes all action items, makes votes on all items, and then that gets sent up to the commissioner for final determination. It allows for training and support so that we see that we don't get into a difficult situation in which they're having to pay $600,000 back to the state. So there's oversight physically for that.
How
17 more months.
Are they paying for operation?
Yes, it has to be out of operating. Yes, because this usually was federal funds, and so that's the state had to do the loan to pay those federal funds back. And there were items that they had spent that money on that they could not use federal funds for.
They don't have excess. But maybe it can't be used for that.
They're using their, they're paying for their, again, everything is very, very tight. So they have to pay for the payment for the reconstruct, for the building of the elementary school. And then any extra that they have can be used for that, but it's very, very tight. Yeah, they pay $2,000 a month back to the state. And in the past, months that have been very close where they didn't have the money to pay that back, we have allowed them to not pay us back in order to make payroll, pay other bills. I mean, so there has been a flexible partnership. This last year, they have made all of their payments on time. Okay. Need for level 5 support. The district is at 71% of their teachers licensed in the classroom, which is a big deal. We know that licensed teachers in all throughout the state is in high need, and so they've done a good job there. Still being able to support staff for high quality instruction in the classroom is a need, and so continuing to work with their administration and teachers in the school district, something we feel strongly about. Continuing to work with the business office and making sure that they're where they need to be. So the recommendation for continued level 5 support with a limited authority board is what we're asking for today, or is what the recommendation is. We would recommend, and again, I wanted to remind the district, in the last 3 years since COVID, they have kind of leveled out with their enrollment, but they had a heavy decline in their enrollment from 2019-20 school year, 7th year COVID hit, to the following school year, they lost 100 students during COVID. Okay, so for every student you lose, that's funding you lose. Okay, so that is a huge hit. They have kind of the last 2 years at 419, 415. So we kind of maintained that, but it's still, that's a very tight budget. So again, support is needed. one, to make quality in our classrooms. The high school this last year was recognized by the Office of Educational Policy for showing academic growth. They met their the 80 number that showed growth for a value of the year, which is what we want to see. We're hoping to see continued growth at the elementary and the high school when we get our results for 2023. The district has purchased high quality instructional materials. They have improved their facilities. They've incorporated professional learning communities and process. They have put some systems in place, but support is still needed. Our recommendation is to take the board that was suspended. That would be Eric Cox, Charlie Cox, Arthur Berry, and April Witherspoon, and appoint them back to their board positions. For the one open position for the board, last board meeting, it was recommended by one of the board members that we actually take applications for that open slot, and that the department do interviews, and that the Secretary of Education then would make the recommendation who would fill that first slot. So, again, taking the elected board that was suspended back in 2017, who's continued to meet, put them back at the limited authority board, and then take applications to appoint someone to immediately fill that position. When we talk about the timeline for level 5 support, that would end next May. So under this limited authority board with an appointed board like we did, it would give us from now to next May to determine next steps, how they are going to go forward with an election. Is there something else or another action that needs to be done? But it would give us time for those decisions. So it would put them, it would set them up to begin having monthly board meetings here in Earl by folks who are within the community. Okay. So again, that is our recommendation.
So is that position, is there a non-position or
Yes,
is it a half-on?
It is the zone position. So we would take applications from that zone. Unless this board, unless you guys have it. 5-member board. So that is our recommendation, and I do know that some folks signed it for public comment today, and so you probably want to consider that before you make a motion.
Board meeting have people sign up for public comment, gives you the pleasure to have public comment on the national. And a motion to sign to allow public comment. Second, by Mr. Sutton, all in favor? Any opposed? Have a. We have the public comment here for some of it. Well, while you do that is, let me remind you of our speakers, for public comment. Public comment is written to 30 minutes per person. And I don't know if you know this, I'm a home teacher, and I run, board meetings kind of the same way with a classroom. I have high expectations for behavior and things like that aren't good. And so, I expect people to, say what we do when I was going to. So, we are going to use this as a timer. If we get to 3 minutes, and along with the screen, you're in good shape when it goes to the yellow, like I said, and it goes to the end. Okay, everybody follow. All right, our first one is Latrice McClinton.
My name is Latrice McClinton. I'm a team here at the Fellowship District, and I'm also here. I'm a part of TPC, the Fellowship District. I represent the students, and so with my duty and my obligations on behalf of them. We have 3 concerns. The first concern we have is state on facilities where his will is no we feel that she recommends us for attendance. Myself, as an example, I had a chronic illness to where I needed a lung transplant, and I was not awarded a lot of my bonuses due to me being absent for treatment and for doctor's appointments. Our second concern we had was for prep time. According to the law 6-17-114, teachers are allotted 200
prep time per week. Last year, teachers only received 40 minutes of prep time, which was on Friday, without compensation. Ms. Knowles was made aware of this. We had a PPP meeting. Ms. Knowles was made aware of what was happening, and Ms. Knowles failed to ensure that we received our prep time. Instead, we fought for it, and we were awarded prep time again this school year, 2022-2023. Our last concern, the school policy 3.9, the sick leave bank. Teachers were sent emails as well as conversations that teachers weren't allowed to draw from the sick bank because we had short-term disability. Upon reading and studying the 3.9 policy, nowhere in the policy does it state that we can't draw from the sick bank if we have short-term disability. We really need a change here. We are excited and we are out of fiscal distress, but there needs to be a change. Thank you for the time. That was interesting.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Henderson. I'm the instructional facilitator at Earl High School. I've been there for 10 years. I also own a home in Earl, and so today I am proposing something on behalf of some of the citizens of Earl that we've gotten together. We do have a PowerPoint presentation, but in terms of time, I've given you copies of the PowerPoint presentation as well as the documents that we referenced. So what we're proposing is a three-pronged approach. We're turning the Earl School District back to local control completely. 2, removing us from the fiscal distress plan, which luckily we already did this morning, so that's great. And 3, proposing that the school board election be held without having a limited authority for it. So our claim is that we should be removed from fiscal distress because this was the sole reason that we were under state authority. The district volunteered to receive level 5 support. So this is not a situation where the district was placed in level 5 support. In 2019, there was a memo that went out saying that we classified for level 3, level 4 support, and Dr. Wild requested level 5 support. I was in the advisory board meeting where he presented this to the advisory board. It was never presented as this could potentially be another reason that you would be under state authority. It was only presented as here's the way that we can receive additional resources to help our students grow. I think if it had been presented as this is something that could lead to another year of being under state authority, the conversation would have been very different. So I just want us to consider that because it seems sometimes like we're playing a game and the rules get changed and we're not aware of the rules changing. And so we just wanted to, as a community, say that we would like to not be under state authority for level 5 support, as that was a voluntary choice that was not mandated.
Good morning, my name is Tanya Rogers. I'm a mother of a grad from Earl High School at the Bud and a home in Earl. And my concern, the biggest is about, the loss of our teachers. We have lost a lot of good teachers and we are losing a lot of good teachers. And the majority of the teachers that I talked to that went on to Earl with me, it wasn't the children that ran away, it was the administration. My question is, what can we do to keep the teachers that we have and to attract the teachers back that we have lost? We need our teachers. With the students, we can't do nothing if we don't have teachers. And we're losing teachers because of some of the things that's going on with administration. So what can we do to keep our teachers? Because we don't want to lose schools. I can't be part. We lost our schools. The city went down.
I don't wanna go to the site and do that whole. So my concern is, what can we do to keep our teachers? What can administrators do to attract our teachers back? I talked to a former teacher this morning that left. My kids cried when their teacher left. Sophia Hughes, they cried when she left. And she left because of her administration, not the students. So we need to do something to get our teachers back and keep the ones that we have. Because these are good teachers that we're gonna lose to school.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you all for being here. Again, I am Taylor. It's great to see it online, so. Really concerned with the community, and the access to the this situation. At least to me, as the years, like. From my experience with the, issue, yeah. It's hard to be around that. And so, I recommend this to do that. Talk about the change, this is one of the things that's.
For voting. I'm gonna be voting. Okay. Chief Malone. Your everything, and as well as the concern of the my students and early students. I am here concerning, feedback on what the fund about said about our teachers. We are losing our teachers because of the unfairness of administration. My thing is, and I'm saying, if you're gonna do for one, you do for all. There's the PTO part, now this is the parent part. My child got slapped at school, and that person is still there, that's slapped my child. We can talk about, student issues. Okay, so I go back to the teachers. I'm saying we can't talk about person, a student. Okay, great. So, if we change our authority, I believe we will gain more teachers. Because I also talked to the teachers that live in the farm here today that came to express themselves, that it was our administration that ran off. And if you go to social media, the teachers also said that it wasn't the students, they love the students, it's the administration. So if everyone is complaining about the administration, it was always told to me, if everyone is complaining about the same person, it's not everyone, it's the person. That's all I have to say, thank you.
My name is Otis Davis. Actually, I'm a former state representative, Berlin mayor. I want to say this to government, actually, not government, but to hear this board for coming today to hear our concern. We did, it was a milestone that was passed today, before we go ahead and our community. But I have some concern, and my main concern is that if I hear you all being incorrect or someone correctly, that we all have to just get that correct. Okay, with respect, thank you, okay. But we still have board in place. When we left, I think where we are now, where we were, Mr. Dix was the superintendent. Now we keep it going, but the problem that I'm having, the board, not the board that we have, which you all left in place. But to bring the board back, and these are my friends. And I would say, I'm saying openly, this, I don't have to have them high. These are my friends on the board. But why would you keep the same board? And give it to me, that was part of the problem. What I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. From a political perspective, that why give me back something that I already had? So what makes the difference? Who's going to be the caretaker of my money? Who's going to be the caretaker of the community? Not the fact that the board can't do it, but I think we ought to have a concerned citizen and a citizen, and as a part of this district as well, ought to have a choice to choose when we join in. We want to lead our city, lead our school district from the board perspective, not just superintendent. I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about from the board. Let us choose that person, not the Board of Education, because if that's the case, you all are going to choose the board, then that's telling me you're giving me back what I had already. So where I'm going, who's going to monitor? You said we're going to be there for 3 years, but 3 years is still the same problem we had. So who's going to monitor that point? So this is one of my main concerns as a pastor. And I'm quite sure you all are more smarter than I am. And if you are, this is a good time to show it. We appreciate you coming, and I appreciate you a lot.
I'm not sure the name, the, school food teacher. Okay, all right. Sorry. Will you come to my family to say the name from me?
Good morning, my name is Martin Morel, third year at BTS graduate program. We got 14 kids. So my concern, the teacher part of it is taking care of, parent part is taking care of, the kids are food. Now, I don't think the kid should be served hot dogs and fries from here. Ain't never feel hard. And they would take the put it all over the and go everywhere. Another thing is, why they come to early food selling their food to the students, but gonna cook them what the kids can't eat. What you can take where they gonna sell it. There's no way you should be selling food at Earl High School. And the bill address, I talked to Ms. about it, I talked to Ms. Bob Lucky about it. I ain't got the answer yet, and y'all can be out here. I love all of you, not just mine. And we're gonna pay them our tax dollar, working parents. We're paying for food, I got a whole hot dog, a green hot dog, the price of it.
That's all the comments that were signed to board, you have any discussion on, maybe you want to come and set your recommendation again.
Now, I'd like to do this with some of my follow-up comments. On the academic part, as far as removing completely from the level 5 support, Earl School District is a high school, 16% of their students met revenue. In the elementary school is 28%. So a school achievement in the state, they are definitely in the lowest quartile, lowest, probably 10% of schools in the state. So there's still a lot of academic support. Teachers leaving the district, one of the reasons for that. And I agree, people stay for people that they care about and work hard for. The beginning salary though in Earl until recently was $36,000. It was the minimum because that is all the districts are for. A lot of the districts around Earl have a much higher salary than $36,000. So that has been a reason, or one reason that teachers do consider leaving because they were at the bare minimum. And very few of our districts still remain at that very bare minimum. Some of them have even not 35, 37, but we were at the lowest level here. So for achievement and academic and just general support level, I was still recommended. In terms of this community being able to elect their own board, and let's get them set up and get them started immediately, that will take months. So this concept of starting with the limited authority board and those members that were already in place, they can start meeting as soon as next month. And start operating as board. And then those discussions by this board, as we continue to move forward on when do we go ahead and start opening up certain zones or certain positions for election moving forward. Those are processes that we can move to. As far as the appointment of the superintendent, under the limited authority board, until they have a fully elected board where they are then hiring their own, I would remain that the State Department continues to appoint and have the control over that. When the community establishes their own board, then we're getting into those pieces. There can be pieces with the limited authority board, helping do the evaluation and things like that as we move forward. Any questions from board members?
I think that's the last one, but could you talk a little bit about board training? I mean, that's very valid point. And the constitution board or
So another consideration that you guys could have today, you could do exactly what we did with Tom Love. You could open up all 5 zones. We have applicants from all 5 zones that we interview just like we did before and flex. So we accept some of that within the 5 zones or accepting the board over there and appointing that there. So I mean, I think that there is I do think this board today has a choice. If you want to open up all 5 spots for an application process, in which we did with Cromwell. So when you're talking about, let's use some time about that, that is maybe a way to kind of find a middle ground. But again, it would not be an elected board, it would be through an application process and appointment that would be brought back to the board.
Thank you for that. But also, once the board and then
yeah, we would want to do a partnership again with the Board Association. And also work with my office coordinator for the program to come in and assist the board in training on how to look at the financial reports, what you can approve, what you can approve, for personnel conducted. We've done in other places, we've done a little bit of training each month before the board meeting. Trying to prepare people to make sure that they have the skills necessary to understand what their role is on the board. The current advisory board members of the board that have remained, they have set up with their board training.
Your recommendation, the recommendation of appointing the 4 years and then opening the 1 versus opening all 5 applications. So we're taking the decision on where each one start writing. You know, I don't really know. All about the and One, the world members of the big four, their, education and their housing, and then extremely possible. I do find that, we often see like that,
For those of you who don't know me, I am originally still in the so pretty much well familiar with Earl all my life. Served on the Marion School Board for 29 years before I got on this. Being a board member is not a long board. Different. And I just want you to have think about the sacrifices and the amount of time the current board, the gentleman that the lady that own the board provided power along the way. So it's not capable, right? You're ready to ask them about. I haven't decided whether or not I vote to start over with the board. It's all about the timing, as Stacy said. The existing board members in Red Running, again, they're heading what they were in the middle of fall. I'll have to secretary of education. So, even if they had bad night to sleep, they don't get connected. I'm glad to hear that I understood that they have kept up with their hours with the today. That is a very little. So I just want to make that comment. I'm very close to this community. I've said it before. People here have a lot of great principles. I want this city and this district to be successful. And what about the help? How we have this building. I think you most understand we're here to try to keep this school in the city. So just be careful. Expressing what it's like what we're doing. That's what
Well, under level 5, so I want to clarify something, because earlier in one of the comments, when you said they would be reported for additional 3 years, that's not the law under fiscal stress allows like very oversight and a lot of intensive support for 3 years for the fiscal side. Okay, and so while we release them, and we're not necessarily going to approve every check they write, that's what we want. Okay, we do have higher levels to pay it. Under level 5, and what we're talking about today with establishment of the board, that date is only good through May 9th of 2024. So this time next year, we're talking 1 year. So in that time frame, we would want to see continued academic growth for this school district. I'm visited this campus many times, and I have walked through these classrooms many times, and it's not where they need to be. Students need better instruction and more specific to daily time management on time on task. And so that is those are those areas that we have got to tighten up on and expect folks to tighten up on. This district is not out of the woods in terms of consolidation, annexation,
or reconstitution or some other type of action. I cannot in good faith say to you today that I would recommend that they would be just completely released. They're not there. There are students and the folks that are here today, I think this is awesome. Even if what they're saying is harsh or this or that, this is awesome. Because this means we care about our kids, we care about our school, we care about the community. And it means we want to do better for our kids in a school that is open in Earl. So as we think about this plan, as we think about this plan moving forward, the recommendation of the department, so the quickest way to create a board is to establish one that was the 4 members there. And then begin to like really monitor this progress that they're making.
More specific to the question. We believe strongly in supporting. We believe in people in this community, those especially the students in this community. It's important for everybody to understand that you don't just get there overnight. The status of Earl didn't get to the space of where it is today overnight, and it's not going to get space to full autonomy overnight. This is what I would refer to as a gradual release model. We want to take step one is we don't want to oversee every single part of the financial situation. The controls are in place. We have faith in the school district to be able to make those decisions. We're still going to monitor it, but eventually it's going to come up from under our purview. Overseeing the school district, the hiring of staff, and the day-to-day operations, we want to release that back to the school district as well. We don't want to be in charge of the day-to-day decision makings. Step one is to establish a board, which is why our recommendation would be to appoint the people that have been serving in this capacity in an advisory level, because their authority was suspended. What we'd be lifting is the suspension on their authority, and then go through now until May to establish exactly what you ask is, when are we going to have elections? Which zones are going to go up when? Those decisions don't just happen overnight, and we don't establish for today. We're just prolonging the gradual release model where we can give authority back to the school district. We will be, in essence, be delaying that process for another school year. You can't have all 5 seats up for election at once. You have to have staggered elections. You have to be strategic. You have to look at each zone. We have to work with supervisors of elections. You've got to do a formal notification. It takes months to establish an election. But we're committed to this. The conversation of the Earl School District doesn't stop today. In fact, the updates and process progress will be reported to this board, because ultimately we want to see student outcomes perform. And we want to support the school district in those initiatives while giving back control to this community, because these students deserve access to high quality education and high dollars.
So the facts that we share, we talked about kind of what we
So I mean, that is like one. And so the current and complete and little time consistent work, pursuant to growing for the and it is one related girls, business, staff, and complete ability to following initial practice organized by an office for the support services. Limited or warrant shops that are all hazardous that would be considered by an elected body of the board of directors. Staff personalized decision committee and their recommendations to the agenda associated with the following information. The collection of the worship shall remain all the authority of the Commissioner of Education. And the Commissioner, who granted to the first, in the position of the authority board, right. All in favor? Any opposed? Ms. Smith, I think there's no next also are four reports.
There were 3 cooperative evaluation, reports put on the agenda. One was for Southwest Co-op, South Central Co-op, and the third was Union. Both, all 3 had satisfactory, evaluation. I just note on Southwest that we are going to do a partnership, with that cooperative to increase leadership capacity, with superintendents for that region. That was something that they had asked for during the evaluation system. So something that we're going to try to fulfill so that I would ask that we agree with the accept the evaluation.
During the discussion on the time. Can I make a motion to approve? A motion by Mr. Second to approve the evaluation. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Petition, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passed. We've already had our public comments, or is there anything else for the board? Do I have a motion to adjourn? And I have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Sutton. Second by Mr. Henderson, all in favor? No. Any opposed? We adjourn. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here.